Welcome to Module 5. This is where everything comes together. We've talked about the theory. We've talked about the formula. We've talked about the methodology. Now we're going to see it in action. In this module, I'm going to share some of my own published poems, and I'm going to walk you through them analytically, showing you exactly how VVPI operates in practice. This is your model. This is your template. We're going to focus on what I call Article 9, Broken Stem, Falling Faith. The research question driving this cluster is, how does a broken stem of a flower resemble my childhood trauma? Before we read the poems, let me give you context. This cluster engages with some of the most difficult material of my life. Childhood trauma, physical violence, suicidal ideation, and a long road toward healing. I share this not for shock value and not for pity. I share it because VVPI demands that I share it. Because vulnerability is the method. Because only in naming it can we begin to understand it. If you're someone who has experienced trauma or who is struggling with mental health, please know this material is not presented in the spirit of despair. It is presented in the spirit of survival. Every poem I am about to share ends in hope, however difficult the path to it. I'm alive. I am here. And I am here to tell you that poetry can be a path through. Let's begin with the first poem in the cluster. This poem was first published in Rust and Moth Literary Journal. I'll read it now. Then we'll analyze it together. I watch the sign of my grief open its wings to me. I grasp its hellos with fist of bramble, shaking the thorns off from my psyche. My lust to dig them into my hands, to imitate stigmata ceases. I spare them their fate, and leave them to sting me. Another day, I shush the sun at night, singing misery, to sleep the imperfect stem of my faith. Broken one more time, take a moment with that. Now let's analyze it through the VVPI framework. The X in this cluster is the broken stem of a flower. And look at how X appears in this poem, subtly at the very end. The imperfect stem of my faith, broken / one more time. The stem is here, but it's merged with the Y. It has become the stem of my faith. The universal image has been fused with the personal truth. The Y, my childhood trauma, appears through a series of images that do not name trauma directly, but embody it. Fist of bramble, the clenched, defensive response to pain, shaking the thorns off from my psyche. The attempt to remove the embedded damage of traumatic experience, my lust to dig them into my hands, to imitate stigmata. This is extraordinary. This is the suicidal impulse, the desire for self-harm, filtered through the image of Christ's stigmata. Look at the molecule atom nucleus structure here. On the surface, the molecule level, this is a poem about grief and thorns. On the atom level, it is about trauma, self-harm, and survival. At the nucleus level, it is about the relationship between suffering and faith, between brokenness and spiritual identity.